Hello and welcome to my discussion post for Units 7 through 9. I chose question 1, research something that you found interesting from this unit's chapters. What did you research, why was it interesting, and what did you find in your research? So I chose post-formal thought. I'm interested in this because it seems like an advanced form of thinking that everybody needs to be capable of. But in my research, I learned that this is a stage of thinking that not everyone reaches. This article defined post-formal thought as the combination of logic with emotion, the subjective with the objective, and the philosophical with the dialectical. We also learned about dialectical thought in this unit, the ability to bring together salient aspects of two opposing viewpoints. The article references Jean Piaget, specifically how he claimed that post-formal thought was the last stage of human cognitive development and the most sophisticated. Interestingly, the theory is only a proposal and is yet to have a scientific basis. Post-formal thinking is characterized by the ability to deal with inconsistencies, contradictions, and compromises. Post-formal thinking is both a personality style and a way of thinking. By using post-formal thought, you're not limited to processing reality in absolute terms of good or bad or black or white. Life is all about the gray area, so that is why I am so interested in post-formal thought. Post-formal thinking takes a critical view of things. It always tries to understand why problems appear. This aligns with the importance of the gray area, because many solutions are not objective in a black and white way. We need to be subjective to problem solve, and in my mind, the best way to increase our own subjectivity is to open ourselves up to various perspectives. And then getting into the second question I chose, this was related to marriages. It says, marriages have been around for centuries, yet not always in the same form. Learn more about marriages now and in the past by watching this short video. What did you learn that was most surprising or interesting? What do you want to know more about marriages after watching this? So for centuries, marriage was viewed as a practical arrangement between two families. What changed to make love the basis for the institution of marriage? A recent study indicated that 85% of Americans view love as an important reason to enter into marriage. Marriage was not about the relationship between the man and the woman. It was a way of getting in-laws, making alliances, and expanding the family labor force. This is way back in the day. Starting in the 10th century in Europe, the concept of consent in marriage became more vital. The idea was that unions between two consenting parties should be approved by a religious body and before God. Love didn't become a common practice in the West until the 18th century, when the idea of marriages based on romance started to slowly emerge. The trend continued on in the 19th century, thanks in some part to the Industrial Revolution. As people began to move away from common family areas and into more highly populated cities, the Enlightenment era ideals began to shine through. There was a focus on individuality and the happiness of the individual. This is what led people in Europe and the US to start picking their partners for the first time, often influenced by love, as they were doing it for themselves. In some contemporary Eastern cultures, love is not the most important factor in choosing a partner, but in Western cultures, love is most important, by far. I want to learn more about why it took so long for love to become a key factor in marriage within Western culture. What was going on before the 18th century that led to no consideration of love? I am thinking that life was more about simply survival in these times, and the reasons for people getting married back then prove that. There wasn't much space for love. People likely did not even understand the concept fully. They were probably expressing love without even knowing it, which could explain why it didn't influence marriage decisions until the 18th century when the Romantic era began. Thank you for listening.